Heavy metal time. Get your heavy metal, yeah. Heavy metal. Here's a new podcast that's sweeping the nation. It's causing Jive Talkin and it's causing devastation. You're jumping up and down like a psycho circus town, slamming your waltzes all the way around. Listen to an episode that makes you feel good inside. And you come back every week for some fun. Heavy metal news and I give you the run, shit. Heavy metal news, Jive Talkin, heavy metal news. Come on, baby, let's jive, jive, jive. Heavy metal news, jive, jive, jive. Ah, Jesus. Well, I could have hit that. I could have done a better job of that, I'll be honest with you. It's okay to be honest with you on my own podcast here. Welcome one and all to episode 177 of Jive Talkin with Shane Diablo. So many stories to get to. This is a no request zone right out of the gate. I saw there was 32 comments. Pardon me. 32 comments and I got scared. Turns out there's 2 that was reprimanded quite well from some of you. But we've got so much stuff to get to. I'm so excited about this. We've got your comments, of course, lined up. And if there is any kind of orb talk, I will want to introduce you to a new friend. I've got a couple photos. Get into your comments. That's the best part of the podcast. Jesus, I just ran up the stairs. I sat right down, hit the buttons, and then just started playing that tune so perfectly well. It was a bit of a take on Exodus because Steve Souza is the first story. Steve Zet-man Souza is the first story on the podcast. But we've got a lot of fun stuff here. We're going to check in with Papa Roach here, and they're going to do an acoustic version of Last Resort and some other tunes. Tobias Forge, he's talking about no cell phones at their concerts anymore. I'd like to get your input on that in the comments. What do you think of that? I don't think that's such a bad idea. I hardly get in my phone to take pictures. I kind of forget about it because I'm so caught up in the whole vibe of a concert. Yeah, I'd like to know what you think of that whole thing. It might put a dent in what I like to do. So I like to do my video autopsies and stuff, right? And I have to take live footage to do that. We got the greenies. I got my greenies. We're ready to go. And again, I do have some photos of a friend. Is it the same friend that follows me somewhere else? I don't know. But I will speak upon that as well. Stories that we won't be talking about. The Who's Pete Townsend says he's not, you don't like doing it no more. Not a fan of getting up on stage. It doesn't fulfill him. Wednesday 13 and Tame Me Down. That was a video I clicked out. We was going to do the story, but they released a song together called No Apologies. So many good things going on, but we don't have time for all of it. Guitarist Sonny Mayo quits Snot, and they've got a temporary replacement announced for that. Let's go. Thank you for tuning into this horse and pony show. I mean, I'm telling you, you really have a good spirit about you. You really like to just chill out and have a good time. I think people are getting sick of the 15-second, 1 minute, flick and scroll, doom and scroll. I mean, they're not watching my shit for sure, but I think they're getting sick of it and they're starting to look for something that's a little bit more where you sit down and you kind of soak it in. Very quick note I wanted to make as well is, I don't know if you're into interviews, but I saw Garza podcast, you know him? I think he's from Suicidal Angels. He's doing Buzz Osborne, and Buzz is full of he's full of stories, and I love any interview I can find with Buzz Osborne. Jesus. Can you tell this is going to be something else? Doesn't that look like, doesn't he? He's lost weight, and we appreciate that because it means a happier, healthier Steve Souza. You wouldn't know it from those eyes. Those eyes are the eyes of a man that'll run over your dog and then knock on the door and say, someone hit your dog outside. You know, but not saying that he would ever do that. But Steve Souza, he looks like that coffee talk. Saturday Night Live. He's got, you know, he's got his Virginia Slim down in one hand and a cup of coffee in the other. He is retorting to Gary Holts. Gary Holts says, well, he had to go. And so this is Steve Zet-man Souza. Of course, he's got his own podcast. So right now, guys, welcome to episode 177, whatever this is, of this fine podcast, which we're starting right now. Steve Zet-man Souza. Weird that I never knew he was ever called Zet-man Souza, like back when I saw him back in the, I guess it would have been Fabulous Disaster album is when I saw him. But he is indeed, Steve Zet-man Souza has opened up about his latest departure from Exodus, saying that he definitely has no desire to play with the band ever again. Total wine. We're gonna keep an eye on this shit too. I got to do some due diligence here. You know, it's like I'm fighting a battle and reading stories. 3 months ago, it was announced that Exodus has parted ways with the singer and had been rejoined by Rob Dukes. We talked about that last week. Souza joined Exodus in 1986 after previously fronting the band Legacy, which later became Testament. He remained in the band until their hiatus in 1993, but rejoined them for 2 years from 2002 to 2004. Dukes had joined Exodus in 2005 following Souza's departure and remained until 2014 when Souza again rejoined the band. Souza discussed his most recent split with Exodus during a new episode of Zetra's Toxic Vault YouTube series, in which he is joined by his longtime friend and co-host, Walter Morgan. Fine Walter Morgan. There's Walter White. I mean, he was a good man before he went bad, right? But do you know a mean Walter? Any guy that you know that's Walter is just a friendly guy. He's just he's the next Walter. You got an extra. I'm missing some 16 penny nails here. I've got to put in a 4x4 in my fence. Do you got one, Walter? He says he comes over. He's got it all, and Walter helps. He helps you with the fence. Addressing the reason for his departure, Zet-man said, in part, as transcribed by Blabbermouth. Fine organization over there. I've been doing this since 1986 through 1986. In June, I joined Exodus for the very first time. I was 22 years old. I'm now 61. So to have kind of a roller coaster ride in music has actually been kind of exciting. It kept my life going. Certainly, things happen and certain things go on, and you can kind of have to deal with them as they happen, like anything. Clarifying that he did not quit Exodus and was let go, Souza continued, I don't read much of what goes on that internet, that CompuWeb. With no disrespect to anybody, I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks about me or what you say. That's the way every damn person should live their lives. But I was made privy by my sweet son, my sweet boy. That's Hatriot, right? Is that his sweet boy from Hatriot? Something Gary Holts, Exodus guitar player and main songwriter, had responded to me saying that I didn't quit, I was let go. And I have to agree with his analogy. Being in a Gary Holts, guitarist, main songwriter, had responded to me saying that I didn't quit. I was let go. And I have to agree with this analogy. But, okay, being in a band is like a marriage. It truly is. A tender and loving marriage yet can be brutal, and it can be mean. Sometimes we never listen to the preacher man. Right? We never listen to the preacher man, the sickness, the health, the bad, the rich, the poor, the everything else. You just want to get to the goddamn honeymoon. You want to make love on your honeymoon eve. And then 3 days later, you're like, honey, who took a bowel movement all over the toilet and in the toilet and on the side of the toilet? And then you go, I didn't know you did those kinds of things. And then the marriage starts to go south, but you didn't listen to the preacher man, where he says, sick, bad, good, poor, health, all of that. He says it truly is a marriage, and the marriage was indeed over. And it was, well, now, I was never going to quit. Meaning, maybe I guess I would never leave the marriage for whatever reason. Well, you got to, you got to wait till the kids are grown, and all that kind of stuff. Be horrible, have a horrible life for 15, 20 years, and then the kid lives in the basement, so then you got to live there even longer. But I truly think it was probably the right thing for me, especially, and I hope it's the right thing for them as well. So he's got a good spirit about it. He's saying, hey, serve a crowd pleaser, no matter the crowd. Jimador, El Jimador. Fine drinking product. They don't sell that at Target. Can you buy whiskey and stuff at Target? I don't think I've ever been. I've been into their they've got a good selection of chino shorts that I like to wear. I don't like wearing the cargos. I have a lot of cargo shorts. I don't like to wear those. I like to wear chinos that don't have the big pockets on the front. And I did go into the clothing portion of Target, but over in the food sections, do they actually sell whiskeys? I don't think so. Regarding his mindset after his departure from Exodus, Souza said, people are calling me, they're calling me left and right, my friends and my family, asking me if I was okay. And I was fine. I was like, I'm great, guys. I'm really happy. And I'm even more content. And again, we're in April now, and this went down in January. And actually, I knew in December. Right before Christmas Eve is when Gary likes to call you and give you bad news. Tell you you're going to be removed from the band, because I didn't quit. So Gary called me on Christmas Eve, and I was just sitting down with my beautiful son to have some chocolates, some mint chocolates and candy canes and stuff. And that son of a bit, I knew before anybody knew, before it was announced. And I was cool with it. Mano y mano. Gary called him mano y mano. Says, hey, Zet. Because that's what he calls him. He calls him Zet. Hey, Zet. We got to talk, man. Got that 40th anniversary coming up on Bonded by Blood. We did that with Robbie Dukes. So, you got to kick you to the door. I'm going to miss you guys. This is Zetro, the Zet-man. I'm going to miss you guys. I really am. But for me, my life has changed a lot. What I liked when I was younger, in my 20s and my 30s, are not necessarily what I'm into anymore. I love my family. I mean, I came home and I got married to my beautiful betrothed, Vicky, whom I've been with for 17 delightful years, every moment delight, and she is the love of my life, indeed. And you know how hard it is to go away from the love of my life at this point? I bet she doesn't mind. She's like, oh, he's leaving for a couple weeks. At 61 years old, for 5 weeks, 6 weeks, at a time, to stay away from my beloved? It wasn't easy for me, even though it may not have shown on stage, because I give it 110% on stage. You wouldn't know that I was pining for my lover at home, because I give 110% when I hit that stage. It wasn't easy for me, even though it may not have shown on stage, indeed. And it definitely didn't show when I was with you guys, with you, the fans. And anybody that approached me, because I would never want anyone to have an awful experience with me. Can I tell you mine with him? But I think it was time, honestly. I'm going to tell you my story about meeting him, and you're going to love it. The Zet-man was cool. All of them were really cool. Exodus was one of those bands that when they came to town, I was a young lad. I mean, I was 18, 19, 20, 22, whatever it was, around Fabulous Disaster. And they were playing this big fairground coliseum. And it's a round building, and there's, when you're at a fairgrounds, they're not going to have the security and detail and all that shit that they would regularly have. So that when the band's played there, the tour buses will be there, and they're going to be in and out of there, and there's not really a hotel really close by or anything like that. So the Headbangers Ball Tour with Anthrax, Exodus, and Halloween, we didn't meet any of Halloween. I think they were sticking to themselves for the most part. But when I met Steve Souza, he was the first one to come off their tour bus. We were there early enough to see the buses pull in and know they're on them. And I can't remember what year it was, and I can't remember what team it was that he was all horned up about, but the first thing he said, he opened the doors up, and I'm just a little guy, and I'm standing there at the bottom of the stairs, and I'm like, oh my God, it's Steve Souza from Exodus. Hey, Steve. And he was up there like a god standing on those stairs, looking down. But he had a joint in his hand, and he took a big old hit, and he goes, we're going to the World Series. So put that, do some research on that. Find out what year the Headbangers Ball Tour was, and when he would have found out about what team is going to the World Series in that year. Speaking directly to Exodus fans, Zetro said, I'm going to miss you guys. I really am. But for me, my life has changed a lot. What I like when I was younger in my 20s, we already read this shit. Vicky, my beautiful wife, didn't show when I was on stage. I gave it my 100%, but I think it's time. It honestly was. I had told Gary, there's some mean Garys out there, right? A lot of serial killers named Gary. Gary Busey, Gary Leibowitz. Who's the big one? John Gary Gacy. And I told them that I would like to do this till I was 70. And probably not much more than that. But I think in the back of my mind, I think I was kind of already done with the rigorous life of touring, because it's very demanding. And I bet old Rob Duke's probably got a couple years on him, right? I mean, younger man. And the business doesn't care about what you have going on. I'll give you an example. My dear fans, let me give you an example of this. In 2016, my mother died. And I was in El Salvador on tour. I should have been at her bedside, but I wasn't. Because I had to do this. I've had dogs pass. I've missed graduations for my children. Any musician that has been in my position can absolutely relate with this, because it is part of it. Yeah, look at Dave Grohl and all of them. They go out there and, it's a grueling lifestyle. You can't be with your wife and kids and all that. It's got to be maddening. I mean, I never got to that point with any of my bands. It was, the tours that we were doing was absolute fucking hellscapes. Like, we need to sell 15 CDs so we can get some gas, so we can get the hell out of this town. That's where we were at. We weren't with, hey, good news, guys, Tallahassee just sold out. No. But it's got to feel crazy just to get on a bus, get off it, rock out, go to a hotel or get back on that bus, and then get up and, hello, and then, And the business doesn't care about you. I was in El Salvador, mom passed, the dogs and all that. And any musician that's been in that, they know what's going on. And a lot of times, people don't necessarily think of that. And then there's the musicians that really like to do this. And they'll go out and they'll hit it hard, and they'll go for one thing to another. You see how I was politely trying to not only get rid of that burp, so it's not on a podcast that's going to last forever, but also that I was trying to read through while that gas was boiling up inside me? It's really the thought that counts, They just go from one thing to the next. It's like Stephen Pearcy and all of them. They never stop touring. It's Rat and Dean. and then it's Rat and Roll, and then it's Stephen Piercy, and a lot of them do that. But that's their main income. That's how they survive. Elaborating on his reasons for wanting to spend less time on the road, Zetro said, I've changed over the past few years, even in the last 10 years since I've been back. Life is a journey, not a destination. You are not supposed to be the same person that you were when you were 20 years old, 30 years old, 40 years, whatever age you are. You will change. Get that ad down. I think we're almost done with this. I've changed over the past 10 years. I like to see, he's going to talk about his family again. And I think I'm more interested in what's going on in my house and around what I'm doing here. I like to see my dogs every day. I have 3 pugs that I absolutely love. Mickey, Timmy, and Gary. Named one after Gary. I have a grandson now, and I never get to see them. I want to see my wife every day. I want to sleep in my bed every day. It's been something that mentally has gone on and changed. But again, I would never quit because I'm no quitter in that type of respect. Okay. I got to tell you, Steve, I don't think you're a quitter at all. I'm going to rub your little face there and just say, you do you. Tobias Forge, someone got real mad at me. I've been getting some real, well, I'm going to say it, assholes in the comments lately. And one guy was just, boy, he was trying to take me to task for how I kept saying the name. But it's like, hey, buddy, come on now. I can say it however I want. Look at those eyes. Those are tender, loving eyes of a man that says, Shane, you can say it any way you'd like to. Any way you want to say my name. You can say it, Shane, because you're the best. Better than all the rest. Tobias Forge. On Ghost's phone ban for 2025 tour. No damn phones are going. For 2 hours, you feel relieved of the chains that is the ether. Boy, he sure is a wordsmith, isn't he? I mean, I really fuck that, but I mean, for 2 hours, you feel relieved of the chains that is the ether. I mean, when I go to a concert, I'm watching the whole thing. I'm singing along. I'm bouncing around. You know that that's exactly what I would be doing. And I just go, fuck! I should have got more. Should have got pictures of that. I've even told myself, hell, I'll go to some concerts and film my own things to do on video autopsies. But I just get lazy, man. I want to rock out. I just want to have fun, rock out. Don't you ever want to do that when you go to a concert? In a new interview with Riff X Metal X. X's. Metal X's? XS? Maybe that's what it is. In a new interview with Riff X Metal XS. Because you're getting access to Ghost Mastermind Tobias Forge. Once again discussed his decision to make the band's 2025 world tour a phone-free experience, with guests maintaining possession of their phone. Thank you for that, because that's some stupid shit when they want to take your phone away. With guests maintaining possession of their phones at all times, secured in yonder pouches. You're going to have to buy a lot of pouches, dude. Right? Because some people are going to take them, aren't they? What's a yonder pouch? I think I heard those words together for Dave Chappelle at some point. Asked if the fact that Ghost's feature film debut right here, right now, was filmed over 2 device-free nights in September 2023 at the Kia Forum in Los Angeles influenced his decision on no phones. I'll tell you right now, yes, it was. Because he could see the difference. Let's see what he says. Yeah, simply put,
over the last, I don't know, 5 years, whatever, if every year has become more and ever-growing distance, and I feel between the crowd and the band, or the band and myself. I'll talk about myself. I feel that I have a problem with watching someone in the audience holding up their phone in front of their face. It's irritating. And maybe I'm old school. Maybe I'm old-fashioned. I just feel... Hey, laptop turned off. I just feel that we're having an intimate moment. And it disturbs me that you're filming while we're doing this together.
He's got a damn good point there. The hell's that popping up and dinging for? What's he going on ripping on about? Here we go.
I'm old-fashioned, okay? I'm an old-fashioned guy. And maybe I'm old school, maybe I'm old-fashioned. I just feel that we're having an intimate moment, and it disturbs me that you're filming while we're doing this together. I'm doing something for you to respond to me. And when you did the show in Los Angeles, California, I, together with everyone on stage, was amazed how great it felt and how we wish that it was all like this every single night.
Yeah, because people are paying attention. You cannot... Look, you know what I did? I think I even mentioned this before. I was watching through the guy's fucking phone, watching Opeth through the phone, because he had it zoomed in nice. And I was just like, damn, watching it through his phone's even easier on my eyes than, watching it. Just don't do it, guys. Don't do it.
And I just felt that I had a hard time not having experienced this. I cannot neglect that I had just had an experience saying that this is so much better. And then we did a little bit of a obligatory rounds when we sort of speak to people. How did you feel? What was your impression? And the overall result that came back was that it was an amazing experience. A lot of people were saying that people are now talking about how will it feel. Beforehand, you go into it thinking that it might be uncomfortable. What am I gonna do with my hands? I stopped smoking once. I smoked for 17 years. I couldn't even fathom the idea of going out drinking a beer and not having a smoke.
That is a hard one to get over, I'll tell you that, man. Because that's peanut butter and jelly, man. A whiskey on the rocks in hand and a ciggy. Tobias Forge, you're only a couple of years past 17. What are you talking about? You quit smoking 17 years ago. That's a compliment to you. I'm making a compliment. I'm saying that you're well together for your age. He's 30-something, right? He's got the world by the balls. Did you know sorry, we're going off topic here. Did you know that the former mates of his is in a band called Priest? They're a masked band. And they have no problem coming right out and talking some shyster on Tobias. Because I saw this little clip where someone was interviewing him, and she said, "Aren't you guys ex-members of Ghost?" And he just launched right into it. Yes, but he stole the whole band, just the whole thing, just in a 2-minute clip. So there's some raw feelings there. The only thing I would say to that guy is, okay, buddy, you were out on Infestissimum, and he's had 3 other albums that have been blockbuster since, so, Okay, don't attack me. I'm just saying.
Obviously, I'm not selling the ideas of either smoking or drinking beer. But I started drinking beer and smoking at a very early age. And that's when I was not very tall, like I am. I'm very tall, big boy now. But that's why I'm not very tall.
Because it stunted your growth? That's always kind of weird to me when you meet like someone and they're just a little shorter than you. Because you look at them and you just say, oh my God, You know, I heard Joe Rogan's like 4 feet tall or something. It's like something ridiculous. They're like, that big beefy meathead right there is only 4 feet tall. I don't care what you say, man. I'll take you. You're only 4 feet tall. Shit, I'm only 5'7". I'll take you. I don't fight. Never have, never will. But I'm just saying, if it came down to that. Other than you can't use no jujitsu and shit like that on me. Because I don't know how to do it. If I know how to do it, then we could have those rules. But if Joe Rogan going to come at me, it's just going to be straight street fighting. No rules. So when I'm biting on your testicles, no. Please don't. He's got goons everywhere, guys. He could take me apart at the seams in every way. We're almost done with this because I never drank beer without smoking, so I couldn't fathom what it would be like. Long story, long segue to that is the people were afraid. People were worried about the concept of not being able to film or being able to access the world. As soon as they'd done it, they felt so much better. And that is what I want everyone to feel. For 2 hours, you feel relieved of the chains that is the ether, whatever it is. Then you can call, then you can take photos, then you can do all those things. By all means, tell everyone how awful it was. But I felt that I wanted to do, what's this little slashy thing? You don't use that in lieu of an I. That I wanted to do this way. I wanted to do it this way. Because it made me. And it made the band. And it made all of those people. Those beautiful faces. Painted like mine. Painted like in different styles of my makeup. People that I spoke to. At least from the Los Angeles shows. They feel so much better about it. They love it. And that is the collective joy that I want people to associate Ghost with. That's the show now. Now, I will tell you, I've seen Ghost 4 or 5 times, and they put on a fucking amazing show. It is fun. It is, he's now, Tobias is now saying that songs aren't about Satan. Well, you have songs where you're talking about Satan, where you're literally going, Satanas, Lucifer, but it is a damn good time, and there is a collective feeling, when you're all in a room together, and it's like a comedy show. Have you ever been to a small comedy club? You just start laughing. The comedian might not even be as good as you think that everyone thinks he is, but there's something about just feeling in the moment and stuff. Let's get off this shit. Is this going to be a long one or a short one this time around? I don't know. Of course, it's a ghost show, so it will resemble what you know, but as a creator, as a creative person. Having made the film, there was a lot that I learned from just editing the whole thing and seeing the show. I had never really spent the time watching what we were doing a long time. And so the controlling director in me will definitely shave off a lot of things that I thought that didn't make the film, basically anything that didn't make the film, basically. Anything that's not in the film were things that I didn't want there. And that taught me a lot, the show and how I want the show to look in the future. All right. What's he saying? Phones and Apple Watches? Oh, let's find out what's going on with the Yonder bag. Yonder founder, Graham Degoni, said his company's pouches were created for phone-free spaces where creativity and productivity could flourish. It's a bag. In the absence of technology, phones, Apple Watches, and other communication devices are placed in the Yonder pouch and sealed using magnetized lock, which can be opened with an unlocking base. Last month, Forge told Odyssey about Ghost's phone ban. It's an experiment,
And to be perfectly honest, my 16-year-old daughter was very, 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 very skeptical of it. And then she was like, no, wait a minute, Daddy. Wait a minute, Daddy. No one's going to buy a ticket. And I was like,
in my guts.
And I was like, I don't know. I have no idea what people will do. I just know one thing, my dear sweet honey. And that is that over the years, it's going to absolutely be insane. If you have 10,000 people at a concert and 8,000 of them are holding phones, there's something deeply disconnecting, and obviously this implies that I have this conversation with my daughter. But we talk about a lot of things. Growing up with Daddy on the road. I gotta be on the road a lot. We talk about a lot of things when I'm in town. But I was saying, like, that's like having an intimate moment with someone, and then the person would just take out the phone like that and, oh, hold on, I'm just gonna take a photo.
It's the best kinds. That's the best kinds, baby, Tobias. That's the best kinds. When you're filming yourself, then it gets out on the internet. That's fun, isn't it? Ask Dave Ellefson about it.
That's like having an intimate moment.
Oh, yeah. Oh, hold on. I'm just going to snap some photos really quick. I know some people do that.
If I'm just speaking for myself, I know a lot of artists don't care, and I know that there are plenty of upsides, especially commercially, because you want people that the whole thing is the business is, basically, yeah. We want people to film because we want people to see the show.
See, there is that catch to it. Why do I feel like I'm leaning back like this? It's because I am. Oh, what's he say about MySpace? That was fun. Anybody on MySpace? Remember MySpace? Did you ever have a friend that was, you know, because you could put like your top 5 friends or whatever there on your page?
It's like, hi, I'm Shane, and I like hiking and skydiving and high wire walking, and
you know, and you could have your music on MySpace. And anyone have the friend that was like, how come I'm in slot 3? I should be in slot 1 on your friends list. MySpace.
Fine, I understand that there's promotional too with social media.
Oh, and before I read this, I'm going to say this because I want to see if I'm right about it. But MySpace was the thing that kicked Ghost right off. He posted up 5 tunes on MySpace and they blew up.
Fine, I understand that the promotional tools with social media. I'm not going to neglect that. Part of our success is obviously from social media. We started on MySpace. And that was the root cause for our success at the time.
Yay! Who's always right?
We started on MySpace, and that was the root cause of it, for our success. I don't know if we would ever become anything if it weren't for MySpace.
I'll tell you another band too, Five Finger Death Punch. Ask them, run into them and ask them. They were graffiti artists on there. You couldn't go anywhere on there without somebody them splashing their flyers and shit on everything.
And obviously our TikTok has played a huge part. I'm not saying that all social media is bad. I'm just saying that when it comes to the actual live show, my calling, my reason for being there is the connection between myself and everybody that I brought with me that are working in tandem to give you an experience. That experience is completely decocked if everybody's just filming. Am I wrong?
He is not wrong at all.
Am I right?
He is 100% right.
I don't know. That's how I and we felt.
Bruce Dicky Dickies, he real quick, and then we're going to watch a little Papa Roach. He was shocked, pleasantly shocked. Oh, I didn't see the pleasantly. We're going to really rip through this story then, guys, because I thought he was you know, those eyes say, I'm a pit viper. I'm about to sting. And I'm about to say, I don't want him in the band, but I was shocked by it. Well, he's pleasantly shocked. And I'm not trying to just look for controversy. He looks like a guy that's going to rock those tunes all right, right? He's no Nico McBrain, but what are you going to do? You going to get Clyde Burr back? Could he do it? My friends, you are going to be so excited when you see my new friend. I'm going to say hello to my little friend. That's over in the comments. That is only if there's orb talk. Or maybe it'll be a super secret very ending of the episode and make you guys watch the whole thing all the way. Really quick on this shit, get over to Papa Roach. They're going to jingle jangle something off, and then we're going to get to your comments. Fun times abound. Here we go. Bruce Dickinson says he was pleasantly shocked by Iron Maiden's first rehearsal. Oh, with the first rehearsal with new drummer Simon Dawson. Is he going to say, oh, I wish we would have got you in the band 15 years ago? This past Monday, indeed, my friends, April 21st, Iron Maiden singer Bruce Dickinson took part in the Musician Institute MI Conversation Series with host Ryan J. Downey in Hollywood, California. During the chat, which can be seen below, Dickinson spoke about Maiden's upcoming Run for Your Lives World Tour, which is scheduled to launch on May 27th in Budapest, Hungary. The trek will mark Maiden's first with new drummer Simon Dawson, who previously played with Maiden co-founder Steve Harris as a member of his British Lions project. Asked if Maiden has already started rehearsing with Simon, Bruce says, right here is transcribed, well, we've already had a rehearsal with Simon. On the last Maiden tour, Simon was tagged along with British Lion, as Steve was doing shows with both bands. But it was kind of insurance for us, because we weren't sure. We were hoping Nick. It's so weird to say his name like that. It's got to be Nico. Bruce, I don't like that you do that. We were hoping Nick, Iron Maiden long-time drummer Nico McBrain, was going to make the tour. But there were some times during the show when not so much his drumming, but his physical body was really... we were worried. We were like, we do not want to end up with Nick in the hospital. And we do need to have a backup. And Simon was suggested as Steve. And we all went, yeah. But how do we know it's going to work? So we said to Nick, look, Nick, in the middle of the tour, we've got a couple of days in Portland, Oregon. You know, a real stinker of a place where we could try out the other guy. We're going to rent a rehearsal place, and we're going to just give Simon a go, just to see if it works, just in case. So we did, and a couple of us were like, oh my God, I don't know how this is going to be, but hey. And honestly, I was pleasantly shocked. I was like, wow. We went through the whole set without a break. And you guys probably could have used the break, right? He's a younger man. We went through the whole set without a break. And this guy had not rehearsed with anybody. He just turned up the Maiden. We went through the entire set of the tour that we were on at the time, and it was all there. I thought, my God in the heavens, we could do a show tonight. If we had to. That's unreal. Oh, explaining why Dawson was the right man to be replaced by...
Well, because I'll tell you true, Steve Harris is the leader and owner of, and the proprietor of Iron Maiden, and so he said this will be the person.
Let's see. Explain why Dawson was the right man to replace McBrain Dickinson.
Said the incredible thing was with Simon, which obviously, when it was suggested after Nico decided to retire, or retire from the live playing, that Simon should take over. And there were other drummers that people thought were kind of in that frame. One of the reasons that we didn't pick those other types of drummers was because although they were very good drummers, and I do give them credit for that, nothing wrong with their drumming, not a splash. They all wanted to sound like Nick. And you can't replace Nico.
Thank you for that, Bruce.
You shouldn't even try to replace him. You don't want a Nico clone. You want a drummer that plays the material, but plays kind of their own style. And if I'm honest, if I closed my eyes at the moment during the rehearsal with Simon, it was like having late...
What? What's he gonna say?
If I closed my tender eyes at the rehearsal with Simon, it was like having late Maiden drummer Clive Burr back in the band, indeed it true. Because he got that feel. It's that big band swing time feel. He has all the same influence and everything, and I was just like, oh my God! Wow! So I'm actually really excited. We started rehearsing for the tour not next week, hang on. Oh, I actually got back to Europe tomorrow. And then we've got like 10 days and then we start. So we'll be going through it. And I've got my little speaker set up in me little Airbnb at the moment. And I've got the whole set list on there.
God love you. He's in an Airbnb. How'd you like that? How would you like that to know that Bruce Dickinson slept in your bed? Would you change those sheets ever? Would you just say leave a little note and say, sign those bed sheets, bro? And then I'll just hang them on the wall. That's a better story than meeting him, isn't it? It's a better story than saying, oh yeah, I met Bruce Dickinson behind the tour bus. You say, I met Bruce Dickinson in my bed. That's better. That's how you start the story, and then you weave the tale of how you got autographed bed sheets. Bruce went on to say that the Run for Your Lives will mark the start of a new chapter with Simon. And I look forward to it. There's no shame in that. He added, we are doing the best we can do for the music. Well, hopefully you get along good with Simon. You don't want him to be just a real prick. And everyone's like, oh, bloody hell, what do we do now? You know. What's that other guy's name? Yannick? Maiden has always been greater than the sum of any individual part, which is kind of the way it should be, really. When you've got something like that, and we're also in the semi-unique position that we never really had to, well, we've never really been darlings of any mainstream media. We have got to where we have now and gotten bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger without basically anybody taking any notice of us at all. So there we go. Let's get a look at Bruce's eyes one more time. I mean, they're the eyes that say, well, I may or may not kill, but Simon will be fine for now. Papa's, see, you know he's ripping it right there. That guy cuts his heart out, cuts his heart open, and torn it shut, right? What's those words? This is 101 WRIF. I do have to go to the bathroom, so we're going to do that right after this. But we're going to click around, I think, because I don't know where the good stuff is.
Are you guys ready for Papa Roach? Here he
Fuck
comes.
yeah, dude.
Jerry, Anthony, they're all coming out here. Make some noise for these guys here.
Get it up, bros.
They came all the way from Des Moines just to see you guys.
We're here for the Catalina Wine Mixer, dude. What's up, guys? You guys ready to fucking rock? Woo!
Man, big news on the Papa Roach front, of course, the epic video just
He's having
released.
some tea. He's having chai tea, probably.
Yeah.
Jerry's driving ambulances and everything is going on in that video.
That's Jerry. He
I'm
drives.
like fighting for my life. It's just a whole. Have you guys, anybody seen it? Anybody here? Okay, cool. For y'all that haven't seen it, just go hit that Papa Roach YouTube page.
Oh, he's good at business.
It's cool. We're really stoked about it, man. We spent a fucking like nearly $500,000 on this thing, so we want to kind of do something that would seem epic.
Yeah.
And you know, this song, even if it kills me, it's like.
Oh, this is the new son. He
From the
wrote
first
about his
moment I
son.
heard the demo of the song, it just had a cinematic vibe to it. And so when it came time for making a music video,
His son had a
we
bad
teamed up
breakup
with
and he
my
wrote
friend
the
Jesse
song
Davey
about it.
and his partner Ed, and we worked with them again and just went for something that was just like, I don't know, like John Wick.
Wait a
meets,
minute.
like,
Is
I
he
don't know,
talking about
something else.
songwriters?
John Wick meets Kobe Dick. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're going for. And yeah, man, it was a fun
John
video to
Wick
make.
and
It
Kobe
really was,
Dick?
and we're very proud of it.
Yeah, it's like a 4-minute action movie, kind of, sort of.
Yeah, I'm an action star now.
He was just thinking about
Look at
Kobe
me.
Bryant's
I think you fell in the back of a
penis,
school
wasn't
bus
he?
and everything. All sorts of stuff going on.
I was bleeding from my art.
That's right. I saw that. Yeah.
It was gnarly, dude. I like kind of jumped through this back window of this bus on this thing, and I just
When the guitar
ripped my
players
hand,
start
just all the skin on my middle
strumming,
finger
it's
peeled
like,
up,
yeah,
and I was
get going, dude.
oh,
Even if it kills me.
1,000 signs, but you're choking on the smoke from the other side. And I hope that you know when you're broken, I'm broken too. If you need me, I'll bleed for you. Even if it kills me inside, even if you burn me alive, I carry that pain that you don't need. I carry that weight that you don't see. Carry that pain that you don't need. Even if I'm buried alive, I give my last breath so you could breathe.
I'm the beat right there.
Even if it kills me,
I love it that they've got him chopped up
my
here.
heart open just to feel. I'm drunk and I'm feeling down, and I just wanna be alone.
7 a.m. Drunk and hangover, guitar in hand on a radio station. Maybe they don't drink, I don't know, but wait a minute.
You're making me insane.
He's got teardrops on both eyes. He's killed 2 men.
I tear my heart open. I sew myself shut. My weaknesses that I can't
Too much.
and I scars remind us that the past is red.
What's this one? Leaving it out.
Tear my heart
Leave a light on now. We're doing last resort.
to fade.
I gotta hear that intro.
This is my last resort. Suffocation, no breathing. Don't give a fuck if I come my own bleeding. This is my last resort.
They should have me come down there. I keep the beat for him. Why can't he do that?
Cut my life into pieces. I reach my last resort. Suffocation, no breathing. Don't give a fuck if I cut my arm bleeding. Do you even care if I die bleeding? Would it be wrong? Would it be right?
When you're doing a kick-ass hip hopper, you know, when you're doing a... Yeah, I watched that last night. That was Magnificent Bastards. Billy Corgan did the Dean and Robert DeLeo brothers, the Stone Temple Pilots. It was all right. It was pretty good. I still got to do that video. But I was going to say, when you're doing the kind of hip-hoppy stuff that's flowing real well, they always got to grab their penis, don't they?
This is my last resort.
When he gets to the rapping bit, it's like...
I had to. Cut my life into pieces.
Got to put that hand down there and make sure they're still there or something.
Suffocation, no breathing. Don't give a fuck if I cut my arm bleeding. Do you even care?
See, look at this. Oh, Jesus. You know, I'm not going to catch it right on the part, and I can't do it with those ads.
I die bleeding.
See, he's grabbing his ding-ding. He is grabbing his damn ding-ding right there. They always do that, kind of check to make sure it's still there. We're going to get into your comments right here, right now. I'm going to click these out. I felt we did really good with the ads there this time around. So I'm very pleased with that. I think they've taken my loving criticisms, really, with Blabbermouth, because, you know, I do what I like to call a compliment sandwich. Do you know what that is? Have you heard of that in, like, business circles? It's where you start out telling somebody what a great job they're doing. The middle piece is where you obliterate them and tell them that their job's on the line if they don't fucking straighten up. And then you end with another compliment. But you're looking healthy as hell. You know, whatever. That's kind of where I'm at. Bathroom, and then on to it. I tear my heart open, I sew myself shut. We are back with your comments. It's the best part of the podcast, guys. I'm you know, it scares me when I see 32 of them, okay? But it turns out you guys are communicating with each other, which I absolutely love that. And I do, you know, I'm not going to lie, I do like the fact that when there is a fine, wonderful, Prototheus is one of them. No, I thought would know better about comments and requests on the Jive Talkins. But nevertheless, I do kind of appreciate the just loving warnings. And guys, oops, yeah, this is the only place where he just wants to hear from the people that are genuinely interested in this whole thing. Let's have a sip off the greenie, all right? Now we got the Revenant here. Have you ever listened to the song Every Rose Has Its Thorn by the rock and roll outfit Poison and asked yourself, I wonder what happened to the DJ he mentions in the song? He said, love is a game of easy come and easy go, but has anyone followed up with Brett and see if that DJ was okay? Maybe you could request an interview with him and check in. I'd love to interview the DJ. I'd love to, you know, I mean, Brett Michaels would be fine, but I don't think I'd be a very good interviewer because I want to ask him stupid shit, and I don't want to ask him about what it's like to be on the road and celebrating 50 years. I don't. I hope that dude's okay, Revenant says. Hear the DJ say love's a game of easy come and easy go. But I wonder, does he know it's never felt like this? I know that he'd be here right now. Yeah. If I could have let him know somehow. He died. He killed himself. Brett Michaels walked in and took her out and destroyed that man. Very good, my friend, very good. We got Johnny B coming in here back from vacation, baby. Good. I mean, you know, I'm glad that it was at another cruise. Maybe you'll say something about it, but no, that's right. He was going to the Nico McBrain thing. Back from vacation, baby. No, we didn't go on another cruise this time. We did a full-blown old-school road trip. That sounds wonderful. We had a stopover in Nashville, that's in Tennessee, and saw Kid Rock's big-ass honky-tonk steakhouse, which was the busiest place on Music Row and a slew of country artists' bars, but I don't know who they were. Is he going to say I didn't make it over there to the Nico McBrain's meat barn? Didn't make it to Johnny Cash's museum, so we'll hit that one next time. Then we drove to Macon, Georgia. Rose Hill Cemetery, to be exact. Oh, the final resting place for Dwayne and Greg Allman. Oh, Barry Oakley, who's that? And Butch Trucks. 4 members of the legendary Allman Brothers Band. So he answered what I was going to say. You guys are getting so good at that. You say, he's going to say that right after he reads this. We paid our respect to each of them and visited some sites around the cemetery that were historic pictures for their albums. Oh, that's interesting. The railroad tracks and the Bond tomb were absolutely awesome. What's the Bond tomb? We also saw Little Martha, the gravesite of the little girl where Duane Allman wrote the famous instrumental. Really? I've never heard that tune before or anything about it, but that's very intriguing. It's all coming out of this one cemetery. Yes, it's a cemetery, but the music and vibe were very much alive and flowing through us. Just an amazing experience. We then headed down to Florida and saw and visited family and went to a few parks. Had to skip Nico's soon-to-be Steve Dawson. What was his name? The new drummer guy? It's going to be his Rib Shack pretty soon. Had to skip Nico's Rib Shack this go-around, but there will be more. Miss Althea, you answer. You answer the question. Where did he go eat? They showed up. They got down there. And there was this side and there was that side. And I think we called him. I think we said he's gonna look over at Nico's and he's gonna go. But there is a Buffalo Wild Wings right there. Whatever that place was. All right, here we go. I'm okay. Johnny B coming in here still. Sorry, I had a brain fart there. I'm a 9 Inch Nails enthusiast, and remember when Richie Kotzen was being considered as a band member, and in the end, I think it was a hard decision, but a good one nonetheless. The man is talented, and we all know this, but 9 Inch Nails is a very unique monster, and I don't think he fit the mold. However, Nin will be releasing a soundtrack filled with new music from the new Tron movie. Oh, Tron Eris. And a brand new official release. Maybe Mr. Kotzen will make an appearance on these, ? Regardless, I'm sure that Trent, the Trent man, and Atticus will have he's hanging out with this Atticus guy a lot, isn't he? I'm sure that Trent and Atticus will have a bunch of new players and will no doubt be awesome as always. You'll definitely have to do a reaction video when the new stuff becomes available. Yes, I saw 9 Inch Nails on the Downward Spiral tour. And I'll tell you another fun thing. I was friends with, rest in peace, Jason Lamb. And if you look on the inside of the, he worked at Digitech for decades, this guy. And he's thanked on the inside of the Downward Spiral thing. And I remember having it saying, no, you're not. No, you work over there with the fucking guitar pedals and shit. Everyone in this town works at a guitar shop. Sure as shit, he was right there. And I guess he went and hung out and stayed in there. Didn't Trent Reznor buy the house, the Manson family house or something? Or was it the house that the murders took place in? Something. Sorry, Johnny B. I keep cutting you off. But here we go. So, this is Johnny B still. So, there is a new drone detection testing program the FAA is starting. According to the article I read, the FAA will operate large drones during 2 weeks of testing amid and at improving detections that are 2 weeks of testing aimed at improving detection of UAP restricted airspace. Following the wave of mystery sightings in December, but we keep getting told that there's nothing to see here, and they will continue to do that. And that they were nothing. So why would the FAA dump a bunch of money into a new program to detect nothing? It's a waste of money. I'll tell you this right now. It is an absolute waste of money for them to do any of this. These are all also includes the orbs that have been seen throughout the world. And what if they find something unidentified that they can't explain to the U.S. population? More secrets? More hiding what they found? I think it would be cool if there was transparency, but that's not the government. And it's not going to happen. That's not the government's MO, is it? Question mark. Oh, this is a Y file topic. You just didn't put the tag in. That's fine. You can put the Y files wherever you want. I should have mentioned that at the beginning. Ugh, still trying to get back into the swing of things. You got a belly full of Buffalo Wild Wings you still got to get rid of. Better time than any to I've got my photos here. I don't want to be in the way of it, but this is 5:50 a.m. and there's there's my new little buddy. Hope I'm not in the way of this. And pops up over the mountain, and then we'll shoot off this way. And I have 2 photos here of him. Like I said, 5:50 in the morning. So here's the next one. I'm basically, I guess I should tell you, I'm at a bus stop, right? I ride a bicycle. Remember this? I bitch about the bus and everything every goddamn week. So here's another photo of it just flying off. See, it was up over here. And then what it'll do is it gets about there, and then it goes up, straight up, and then the sun comes up and it's gone. So there you go. Oh, and you know, might as well click the next one here. Have to So there you have that. Another thing that I'll tell you guys is I know that it's a crazy topic, aliens and this and stuff, but we need to get over that. They are here. I see them on a regular basis. They are here. There's no mistake. I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do in order to start communicating with these things, or at least being more open to seeing them and stuff like that. And it is get rid of whoever you think you are, get rid of all of that. If you go out and you think this is stupid, but I'm going to try it anyways, it's not going to work. It has to be genuine love, genuine fascination. That's the attraction. And talking to them and stuff like that. Here's another thing. I'll give you all my tips. You've seen the little planes. They're little white planes, and they got a little jet stuff that comes off of them, and they're just shooting all over. And you see those chemtrails or whatever that are crissy-crossy all over in the skies. That's them as well. The drones, that's them as well. Clouds at the bus stop. I can sit and watch, if you're looking up and you see these little sprigs of cloud, and you're like, that's just weird, it's just sitting there. Ask it to get bigger. Ask it to get smaller, because I have watched a cloud. And I'm not a crazy person. I have sat on the bus thing, watched this cloud grow, then shrink and vanish, and then come back. Seagulls, hawks, anything like that, they can kind of mimic that. With the hawks, you're gonna notice that there's not really any flapping. There's not much flapping that happens. Of course, a hawk does that where it hovers and stuff. But these things that if you just pay attention to the sky, you will start to see it, because you go, that doesn't look right. That doesn't look normal, right? I'm not crazy. You're not crazy either. So if you're, they're here, and to me, it's just pure love. As simple as that. Until next week, keep looking up, keep asking them questions. Keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. P.S. I really love the Rev's Kiss cover band stories. Sadly, I had never heard of any of those particular bands, and playing around me, so I'm guessing they were either a West or East Coast outfit. Well, I think he said something about them getting stuck in New York. PSS, this is my comment from last week. I think I forgot to hit send, so here it is. And he's got 5 replies on that. So there you go. Good job there. When I speak of these, I hate using the word alien. It sounds degrading, but extraterrestrials. I don't want people to freak out or think, oh my God, what's going on? Because the way I look at the whole thing is this is nothing new. They've always been here. We're just now seeing it more and more and more and more and more and more. And I think what's happening is the waiting is done. You need to tell the people that we all kind of cohort on this thing called the Mother Earth. And I think that due date is up because the governments and the people, they're not going to disclose that to anyone. So what happens is they said, okay, well, now we're going to have to start ramping it up. So now what do? You do a weird bird, you do this, you do glowing things, you get, but I'm telling you, with everything in me, I don't feel a smidgen of harm or bad vibes. It's all love. All right? And that's what I'm going to end it there. So, people that nervous folks or whatever, they go, oh my God, it's too much. It's crazy. I know. It is absolutely fucking crazy. But what I tell myself is, of course it's crazy because that's my life. That's what I want in my life. I don't want hate and anger and pissed and tariff and shit and mean and this and that. And I think the world's over it. They're over greed and rudeness and rottenness, okay? Sorry. Things got to come, things got to go. Let's get into Big Tone. Big Tone here, he says, Brother Shane, happy Easter. Great podcast again as usual. I guess the unanswered question remains, was Fear Factory the only opening band for the Ozman? Yeah. Can you believe it? They were the only ones.
I don't think that Burton was very clear on that.
Yeah.
Big Tone says, as for Exodus and Faith No More, I can't offer any qualified dialogue. As I was never, is that dialogue? Dialogue. As I was never much of a fan of either band. The Hellion would never sing Ripper's tunes. That's not happening, period.
Do they call him the Hellion too? I know he's the metal god. But,
Big Tone says, really cool of Phil to play for the Fender staff. And I also thought he was laying into Hot for Teacher for a minute there. He was Richard Marxing the last one.
Haha, yeah. Richard Marxing that damn rockin' tune, that old classic.
Big Tone says, looking forward to taking my ma to see one of her all-time favorites in May, Sir Tom Jones.
I did a cover, I think, long time ago of Pussycat, Pussycat, I love you, yes, I do. What other hits did he have here? Not unusual to be loved by anyone. Not unusual to have one with anyone. Fucking good time. You have a good time at that, I'll tell you.
I'm hoping to use some of my past influences to get an introduction.
Dude. You will be Mother's hero if you can get her back there with Tom Jones. He still looks pretty healthy too. If I'm seeing clips of him in the now, as they say.
Big Don says, last but not least, an enormous heartfelt thank you to you. My dear sweet Shane, to you and all of the Diabolicals,
Well, that's good.
that have so kindly offered up their well wishes. I really appreciate all of you. We are a tight community out there. And I thought I will, and that I will not forget. Moral of the story, a 60-year-old dude shouldn't be deadlifting 450 pounds ever again. I'm progressing nicely.
Yeah, don't ever list that again. Don't do that. You can do this one where you sit down. I had gym class, and I didn't want to learn things. So it was like, I'll take an art class, take a gym class. I don't want to take a gym class, but a weightlifting class, maybe get
get this fucking chunky thing, fucking, you know, maybe, you know.
And man, I could crank it with them leg weights, you know, where you sit down in the thing and you push the weight. Do that more. Don't do those deadlifts. That'll blow out your colon too, won't it? Just like, is that what the deadlifts where you bend it over, where you bend over, you lift it, then you get it up like this, it's down like this. You know, people over there fucking, come on, pussy, come on, pussy. And then you dead drop it. Be careful of that shit. Don't do that no more. I am progressing nicely.
Thank you, Diablo crew.
Keep them coming, brother. Get Shane to 100K. Hashtag. Love that. He may be the only person that's ever posted that, and he's posted it about 4 times on this thing. But I'll tell you what, I appreciate that. Sticky Doll coming in. Thank you for another awesome show, Mr. Diablo. Hope you have had a happy Easter, since this comment will be a week old. I did. I got to see my young rising TikTok star son, and you know, we sat around. We had breakfast for dinner. So we had some turkey bacon. It's not bad. Eggs, delicious eggs. I was like, did you use a whole stick of butter in these? Because it is good. And hash browns, you know, the whole thing that goes along with that. And we sat and we chatted and we thought about things and we ruminated. And then him and his lovely girlfriend, they headed out to take on the world. So it was very decent. Thank you, Sticky Doll. Thank you very much for that. Mike Buchanan coming in here. Yeah, even I'm perplexed at how bad my writing was on that last Movies That Are Bad review. I guess we all have one of those days. Yes. Maybe I should proofread them before I just say, well, that's good enough for me. Where's my beer? Well, you could drink the beer while you're doing it. It's funner that way, you know. Movies that are bad, but we love them anyways. This movie just blew my tits open. You know. Burnt Offerings, I remember this one. This week's Movies That Are Bad, but we love them anyways, comes from a recommendation from Johnny B. Burnt Offerings, 1976, a movie that I have never seen before. Thanks. Burnt Offerings is pretty much a typical haunted house story, but with a bit of a spin to it. It's about Marion and Ben Rolfe, played by Karen Black and Oliver Reed. Karen Black always looked scary, didn't she? And their son, who move into a summer house in the country that is owned by a very strange brother and sister. The price is a steal. The only catch is that they would have to supply minimal food and care to the sibling's grandmother, who lives in an upstairs bedroom. Marion takes on this duty, and the family begins to prepare themselves to have a relaxing summer out at the old manor. You think that just running food up to her, you'd be like, what about the cleanup? You know, the rent might be cheap, but I'm not doing cleanup. Ben's aunt, played by the legendary Betty Davis. Ooh. She's got Betty Davis eyes. Also is staying with them at the summer house. After staying there for a while, strange things begin to happen. This is reading so much better. And Marion becomes very secretive of the grandmother. Secretive. That's not good, right? The only time I've ever heard secretion, it's never good. And Marion becomes very secretive of the grandmother in the upstairs room. In fact, nobody in the entire house besides her have even seen the old woman. As tensions mount, As tension mounts between Ben and Marion, strange events plague the family, including apparitions, strange sounds, etc. For fans of The Haunting, the Robert Wise version, obviously, and The Shining, this is a must-see psychological horror which has been relatively overlooked. Shining joke. In a way, Burnt Offerings is a relic for a time where scares were more understated, whilst paradoxically, performances were melodramatic. It doesn't parody these genre aspects in the way that Kubrick's monolithic Milestone would do 4 years later, but instead plays everything straight. I just started to read like shit all of a sudden, which is why it seems such an oddity, coming at the mid-70s moment after the dawn of the new allegorical horror of Romero, Hooper, and Craven, yes, and before the seedy, gory horror heyday of the 1980s. It's more like the Exorcist pagan style. That's a very good review there. The end. Oh, he's still going. The ending of this film was pretty different. It may be a bit confusing, but it's still good. Apparently, the film is based on a book, which I may personally like to read myself. There are some parallels to The Shining, too, even though this was released 4 years before that. Oh. But Mr. Stephen King himself noted that the novel, as one of his favorite horror stories... Oh, he did? But Mr. Stephen King himself noted the novel as one of his favorite horror stories. So it leads me to believe he may have taken some inspiration from this story for The Shining. Karen Black and Bette Davis give great performances. They are the most remarkable in this film. Oliver Reed, isn't he that plump little fella with dark hair? He was in the Flatliners and all that. Oliver Reed was also great. And the kid, while a little whiny and unconvincing, was good enough for this role. Overall, Burnt Offerings has a pretty good story and good acting and well-known cast, primarily Black and Davis, one of the better classic haunted house tales with a different twist on it that makes it stand out a little in my mind. Grab your favorite beverage, sit in your favorite chair, pop some popcorn, and press play if you dare. All right, Mike Buchanan, very good. That was eloquent. I feel like that was very eloquent. Shane, I hope this review makes up for the disaster that was the last review. And again, thanks for the recommendation, Johnny B. I truly loved this movie. Sorry. Okay, here we go. Mike Buchanan says, wait, Helix has a hot new video? Are they spelling again? Yeah, he caught that Helix joke where I said something about that. I really, okay, now what are you doing here? What is that? What, are you losing it again? Stop drinking before you do this. I know what I said, but stop it. I recalled the Duke's era of Exodus. Apparently, they are set to release a new album in 2026. The alien is me, Shane. Or maybe I have been watching too much Resident Evil. Mike Buchanan says, now I have seen Faith No More open for Metallica, but at the time they weren't booed off stage. However, I did see The Cult open for Metallica, and they were just about booed off stage. Yeah, because when he was leaving, he was saying, fuck you very much, we're The Cult. That was Mike Patton when they were walking off stage. And then the bass player just stood there on stage, spit the line all over him. Bo, 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 bo. And they turned the lights on, the whole nine. It was something else. Let's see, they got booed off stage. They did finish the set, but the entire front, maybe 3-4 rows, had their backs turned to the band. I myself found this to be totally disrespectful, but then again, Metallica doesn't seem to have the best track record for opening bands. You ain't kidding. Mike Buchanan says, okay, had to rewind, but who's Osbeard? Well, I say Ozzy Osbourne sometimes. And I do it because I like to. And maybe I do it because there's been people that say, don't ever say that. And so I feel like I have to. Hate to say it, and this relates to my previous comment, most opening bands, fans do not want to see. I mean, you know, he's not wrong. A lot of times you're like, oh, who's playing first? Okay, well, we can, we'll go to the bar for an hour, But unless it's the band that you want to see that's the opening act. Okay, don't get me wrong on Painkiller. Mike Buchanan says, okay, don't get me going on Painkiller. The last time I saw JP, they didn't play that song. We could hear the crowd chanting Painkiller during the encore. Dude, there are some killer tracks on Juggulator. JP really should, he's talking about Ripper Owens, or Judas Priest and Ripper Owens thing, should add some of those to the set list, like the song Bullet Train. Well, what you've got to do is you've got to write an eloquent little letter over there to the metal god and say that. Because I think you could do it. You've got a good writing style, and if you watch, if you just kind of take your time, sip that first beer, and write him a good email, they might do it. Mike Buchanan's jokes that are bad, but we love them anyways. And now, Jive Talkin jokes of the week. I bought a dozen bees, but they gave me 13. I love a free bee. Did you hear about the woman named Deborah who married an Irishman with the last name O'Nair? Yep. She just became Debonair. There's got to be one of them, I guarantee it. If Muppets, why can't I say that word? Muppets. If Muppets everywhere just started walking and talking by themselves, that would be quite the phenomena. Do 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 do. Phenomena. Do 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 do. Phenomena. Do 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 do. One more time. Phenomena. Okay. I don't always tell dad jokes, but when I do, he laughs. And finally, Chuck Norris liked it and did put a ring on it. Is that Beyonce song? If you like it, then you should have put a ring on it. And then just Chuck Norris liked it and did put a ring on it. He married Beyonce? That wouldn't shock me. With everything that's happening in this goddamn world, that wouldn't shock me. Yeah, didn't you know Chuck Norris and Beyonce got married? Yeah, she left Jay-Z. And, it wouldn't shock me at all. It's a very magical time in which we live, and it's a very wonderful, I do believe, going to be a very amazing and wonderful time. I mean, almost like wringing out a dirty rag and going, put that in the washer and let's get on with it and have a wonderful time. There you go, Mike Buchanan. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. There you go. There's your heart. I made sure of that. 6 Killer Hansen. 6 Killer. Uh-oh. Do we got 3 of them? I thought we only had 2 of them. All right. Well, I mean, we love you here, 6 Killer, unless you're a killer, right? Don't do that. If you're out doing that, don't do it. 6 Killer. Better than an E, right? You should review the great Megadeth song ever written, Looking Down the Cross, on the Killing Is My Business album. I love that album. It's a masterpiece. It's raw, original, shows the unfettered style of Dave Mustaine, and will get stuck in your head. Yes, and that entire album is rich and raw and fast and furious. The whole thing. I mean, if I'm gonna say that might be my favorite Megadeth record because it is just raw, and the songs are great. I cannot give you a heart, 6 Killer, 6 Killer, because we don't do that here. Let's get on to Prototheist. I saw that. Shane, you have no reaction to Caledon Brood. Time to fix. Check out the song Echoes of Battle. You won't be disappointed. Again, I can't. Hit me up again with these requests, you guys, and I'll put them out. But I can't. And then we got, who's this feller? How's it say D-Crocs there, but he's got an R on it. Reed. One comment, Reed. Really, Reed? Oh, this shows their subscriptions too, who they're subscribed to. Tread metal or something like that. He's there. Reed, what are you doing, bud? Can you react to Dukes by King 810? Boy, they're beefcakes, aren't they? We've done Alpha Omega from King 810. That singer, man. You're like, damn, you don't want to meet him in a dark alley. Again, Reed, I apologize, my friend. I love you. I but you're going to have to hit me somewhere else because, homie, don't do that. We don't do the comment. We don't do reaction here. All right, guys. Seize the day. Look at the sky. Look at the clouds. Look at everything. I think you just need to just look out more. Not so close in, That's what I feel like's been happening with me, is I'm looking further out at the landscape as opposed to when you're stressed about everything and your slave job's doing this and you don't make enough and this, that, and the other thing. You're always kind of focused on everything that's around you. You're like, what am I going to do and shit? But when you start to look out and open your eyes and look up in the sky, it's really nice. It's really good for you, too. You're breathing in that deep air. Go out there and get some of that sun in your face. Breathe a couple of big, when that sun's blaring out at you during the day. When's the last time you got out, you stood there, and you looked straight, not into the sun. Don't do that. Close your eyes. But just take some of that heat right on the face and just give it 3 good deep breaths. And then oh, yeah, and you're feeling good. Quick song to get out of here. I appreciate each and every one of you. I'd love you to I would like to have you get at least 5 family and friends to sign up, subscribe, and listen to the podcast. And make sure they're doing it too. Don't assume that they're listening. Say, I need to sit down and listen to it with you. In fact, let's get together this weekend and listen to the latest episode. All right. Let's see. I keep turning that damn thing on when it should be off and off when it should be on. Oof. Right out of the gate, we're just going. We're going to party town. Hey girl, how you doing? It's a beautiful night, and we sat down to a dinner, and we're gonna go dancing, lots of fun, but on the car ride to your house, gonna listen to Shane D. Shane D. I love Shane D. I listen to him every week, every week, every week. I love him, you love him, well I love him, and we love you. Let's go. Almost hit like a Steely Dan riff there. Come on, baby, let's get in the blankets. Earbuds, we're sharing the earbuds. We're making love and we listen to Shane, and it feels so good and it feels so great. Climax, climax, climax. Climax to Shane.